friends, I am Kanchan from Akulmek Technologies and you are welcome to TopBrass. Today we have Sitesh Srivastava, who is based at Johannesburg, South Africa. He has a deep interest in corporate training and he had been training most of the professionals in marketing and IT sector. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Kanchan. It's a wonderful, bright, sunny day in Johannesburg today, and good mood. Good to go with you in the conversation. How have you been?
Yeah, it's wonderful here. It's rainy outside, and it's quite a wonderful atmosphere today.
Wow. Let's start.
Yeah, so we had been discussing about communication, and we have covered most of the aspect of communication, like written communication, verbal communication, gestures, and all sort of other related subject related to communication. Now today, I thought let's discuss audio communication, or kind of where we take up mediums like phone, we take up mediums like internet, as we are chatting now. You see, this is digitization. So we will be talking about maybe touch some points in radio, because that is also a part of communication, but it's a high place where only refined people who have a kind of good communication can interact on radio. So let's begin how we visualize this audio communication. How can we improve that?
Well, Kanchan, you have touched a subject that is so close to my heart, and I was lucky to start my audio journey with All India Radio many years back in India, and that was the time when I realized that audio communication is one of the best things, probably after addressing a crowd or talking to people in face to face. And when it all starts with the history of radio, when the radio communications was invented, and they say it was Mr. Marconi who invented this. And radio has become a part of our not just life, it has become a part of our folklore. More than 100 years of radio communication during the First World War, Second World War, the major events of the world in last 120 years has been covered by radio. And you remember a day, the days when we were close to the radio, we used to hear the radio close to our ears. And it was the audio communication of someone speaking miles and thousands of miles apart. The way the person was communicating, the way it was coming on the radio waves, the way it was hitting our ears and the minds and the hearts can only be described by the people who have heard the radio in the 70s, 60s and 80s, or probably before that. So, Kanchan, audio communication is something that has a profound effect on the listener. And the best part of the audio communication is that the listener can do his work while he is listening. And that is the thing which attracts me the most. And that also enhances the sender, the person who is doing the audio communication, to use his vocal cords, his feelings, and his understanding of the subject, throw, pitch, modulation, everything to convey the message. What do you say? You are a colleague in the same space, Kanchan.
Yes, I had been associated with radio for quite a long time, and I had been doing a couple of shows. But I think this whole start with the technology, we call it phone. The phone communication, then we graduate from phone communication to kind of digitization, doing internet communication and enhancing our skill. But when it comes to radio communication, that is altogether different cup of tea, because it is a one-way communication and you have to reach to your listener in a way that they visualize you, in their thoughts, in their kind of what kind of person he is speaking on radio. They interact without even speaking to you. As you know that 99% of India is covered. I'm talking about Indian subcontinent is covered by radio, and it is one of the medium which is getting boost in recent years comparatively to other mediums which we see. Do you
That's
agree
right.
with my point?
That, that's right, Kanchan. In today's satellite television, satellite communication world, is still, I feel, radio has got a bigger reach than the television medium. Probably mobile phones have reached every nook and corner of this planet, but still the connectivity in a mobile network has always remained a challenge even to this day. But radio, I have seen radio reaching out to the sea, the oceans, the crew members in the high seas. It is there in the mountains, the people who live in the mountains, or those places which are still very very far from the mainstream media. The radio has a power to reach. Radio set may have gone away from our daily lives, Kanchan, but radio remains in our lives through our mobile phones, internet machines, digital devices, and the magic of radio is being also brought about again by online radio channels. And of course, FM radio channels are very popular, but again, I would always say the FM channel has a reach of 100 kilometers, 150 kilometers. But with online radio, there is no limits. It just reaches everyone, anywhere, whoever has got an internet device. So I am completely mesmerized by the audio communication.
Yes, and gone are the days when there was monopoly of government. Now there's all commercialization of radio stations, and people are taking this quite seriously. Recently, we have also come out with the proposals of community radio, especially in India. And why to go far? We have Prime Minister of India speaking every month, Man Ki Baat on radio. He understands the importance of radio. So. The scope of radio communication or radio broadcasting is immense worldwide. But then how to improve this kind of communication where we can become a radio broadcasters? How this journey will start?
So Kanchan, you rightly pointed out our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi's Man Ki Baat going through the radio and reaching every corner of India. And I mean, nobody thought a few years back that radio would come back in our lives in such a big way. And more and more as we go with the video format of the communication or the television format, radio has again marked its presence by its not only reach but also its affordability, and also the person who is speaking on the radio from a far away radio station, who is not seeing the listener, neither the listener knows who is the speaker in terms of the stature, except for maybe celebrities. But the great point here is when somebody speaks on a radio, it is about the atmosphere around the studio. Now, in today's digital life, many people do not have access to the studios. And also, digital life says that you don't need to go to a studio. And people, I have been to studios where I have recorded, and we have our professional audio broadcasters or radio broadcasters. We also have podcasts in today's life. So you really don't need a very high professional studio setup. But of course, there are certain guidelines, there are certain softwares, there are certain equipment that you need. The distance between the speaker and the mic, the echo in the room, the content, which is the heart of it, the delivery, which is the mind of it, the pause, which is the seriousness of it, and the intonation and the manipulation of the vocal cord, which is the impact of it. All of this brought together makes a very, very powerful communication. And I think, Kanchan, this is what one needs to learn. People go for training. I know that people go for audio engineering courses or sound engineering courses, but speaking definitely will take a time. It will take its own imagination. It will take its story narrative building up in the head, and then it has to come out. Now, once we have thought through all of these things, then probably there is a we may not have a great laptops, we may not have a great mobile phones, but a little bit of a space. And I will tell you, going forward, that sometimes I have recorded in such places where it is just impossible to record. But then if you have a thought process and creative and narrative in your head, you will find a place to record your audio message for your listeners.
Yes, and I fully agree that the impact and the progress and how the radio journey will go in future, I think it will never be going to die, because we have so much option in radio. It's not only commercial or it's not music related. We have community radios, we have development radios, we have radio channels for education, we have rural radio, if you've heard of it. So I think the progress of radio will never die. When we say that the video has come and nobody is listening radio, but I feel that we will always have, as a broadcasting professional, you and me will always have our listeners somewhere around the world. So it's quite a strong medium which can change the thought process of people just by listening. Right? Do you agree with this?
Yes, Kanchan, and I got fascinated, as I told in the beginning. I got fascinated many years back when I first heard cricket commentary on a radio, because I did not have a television set at home. And then being in India and hearing our Indian cricket team playing, if I remember, they were playing in West Indies, and the radio set, we all used to put up the radio set as per the time from the West Indies versus India time, and the radio broadcaster used to start, here in the Jamaica, the sun is bright and the pitch looks absolutely golden, and here Sunil Gavaskar and Michael Holding come on the pitch with this toss to see who will bat and who will wicket the first. And I bring you from Jamaica this cricket commentary. By just these lines, Kanchan, the whole of our excitement used to be built up. The goosebumps of Sunil Gavaskar's team versus Michael Holding's team playing. Our imagination used to run wild with each ball. Imaginations used to run like the wild animals, what was happening in the ground. And those days, the imagination became so fertile because the voice on that radio was able to hook our hearts. And that is something which we need to learn, that even if we are not in front of someone, our message should have the same kind of impact. And that is what the power of audio is today, whether it is a radio broadcast, whether it is a podcast, whether it is just an audio message, or it is a public broadcast, the way it is happening in Man Ki Baat.
Yes, and I think that even listening a song or a music on radio and watching that same song or music on television, the impact is entirely different. And I feel the radio listening of a music or a song or a film song is gives lot of solace when you enjoy more compared to, that's entirely my expression. I enjoy more actually when I listen rather than I watch. What do you say about
Yes,
it?
yes, Kanchan, I will tell you my experience, and I completely agree with you. Is that uh, what I'm saying, Kanchan, is we have to realize the imagination part of it. I remember when I was very, very young, childhood days, I started listening to BBC. Apart from All India Radio, our radio used to catch BBC during the daytime. Many authentic news was given from the BBC. Then in the late night, it was Voice of America. And from Voice of America in the early morning in the India, when I say early morning, around 4 o'clock in the morning, you are listening to Voice of America and you are hearing Lata Mangeshkar's songs. Now imagine the setup. 4 o'clock, people are generally alone in their beds. And then from Voice of America is thousands of miles apart. And then you are hearing Lata Mangeshkar on that, or Mukesh or Rafi or Kishore on that. Your radio and Voice of America and your loneliness. The imagination is so fertile, Kanchan. We can't describe it until unless we say it or we write. Similarly, Kanchan, one more example that I still feel that goosebumps on the beginning of the Navaratri, the Mahalaya, on the Mahalaya day, I forget the name of the Bengali person who speaks about the invocation, who invokes the goddess Durga from probably from All India Radio or All India Radio Kolkata studio. It is around 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know whether you have heard Mahalaya. It just gives goosebumps. Still today. So radio or audio communication has a power of igniting our hearts, souls, minds, imaginations, creativity, and that's what we need to actually promote it. We need to tell to the youngsters about the audio communication, and we need to tell them that their voice is a great asset, and if they can combine this asset with the imagination that they bring in, I think they can do wonders.
Yes, and I feel that when we are talking about such a deep and immense medium of communication and listening, so do we require somebody who wants to attach themselves to broadcasting sector? So do they require any training, and from where this training should we start? It is entirely for
So,
the
Kanchan, yeah, Kanchan, I think we need somebody who can give us basics of audio recording. Okay, and but again, today everything is commercialized, and we all can go to some media institutes and we pay and we learn, but not everybody has time. Not everybody has that kind of inclination, but still people have something to say, people have something to pass on.
I think a
And
passion is also required to become a broadcaster.
of course, I mean, when I say today about video, many people say, I don't want to be on a video, Sitesh. But then I say, okay, fine, don't be on a video. Can we do an audio conversation, may not be an interview. Then somebody will say, oh no, Sitesh, I feel that my voice is not suited. I have never heard my own voice. I don't know how it will sound to others. So people have these inhibitions about their own voice, about their own presence on the TV. So I think the first step is to basically start recording the voices with various options. And I must tell you, this is not about technology. It is as basic as it could get. Just press a recorder if you have, and most of the phones today have a recording. Do a recording. Go about it. Listen to your own voice. And I'm telling you, after 10 times, 20 times, when you listen to your own voice, by closing your eyes, by opening your eyes, by having a distance from the phone or from the device, go to the end of your room, listen to your own voice. Imagine if that voice is being played in a car when the car is on the road. Imagine that the voice is on an airport when you are walking and you are hearing your own voice. Once you start doing all this, Kanchan, we will fall in love with our own voices. We all have our unique voices. And of course, there are some voices which are more recognized than others, like Mr. Bachchan's voice. The moment we hear it, we just stand still and we listen. Something is there. When I went first to All India Radio, Kanchan, I did not know anything about recording. But they said, well, we will give you 1 hour or half an hour of a basic training, how you should do, how much distance from the mic. We are on the other room, you are on this room, and this is an acoustic room, a soundproof room, and therefore your voice will not echo, and all such things, But because there is a passion to learn, people can pick that up. I picked it up. And that's the reason I say a training is required. Maybe we can do more sessions, Kanchan, on all of these aspects of recording. And today, everybody is at home. So every home is a studio. Every bedroom is a studio. Every living room is a studio. So how do we make it a more better studio? And of course, the ultimate bottom line is the content. And that is what content and regular intervals pause, bringing in some little quirkiness in the talks, putting the basic local linguistics into it, and throwing it and pitch.
See, now new education policy is here with the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 kind of years and graduations like this. So what do you think is, can we also have a subject in schools, broadcasting? Can children learn broadcasting and they can come out with this skill when we have all sort of radio channels like community radio, rural radio, and of course, and radio for entertainment is always there. Then we have education radio. So what is the best age? What do you say that broadcasting should be there in the curriculum, like music?
Kanchan, you have actually brought very, very valid and important point. And I thank you that you brought up this question. I think that every child, and that we have been talking in our so many conversation episodes, every child has that special capacity, capability, and the broadcasting part of it. The word broadcasting suddenly brings about a lot of technology and scientific and engineering kind of thinking around it. But like you spoke about rural radio, I have known about ham radio, community radios in various parts of the world. Probably in India it is more regulated, to most of them to being to the All India Radio and certain All India Radio, Vivid Bharati, Gold FM, and various state language radios are there. But for any youngster, this is one more avenue to find out the youngster's own understanding of his capability, of his talent. And many of those students are not introduced to broadcasting or a radio or audio or media in a professional way till they reach at a certain, senior secondary onwards. Now, senior secondary onwards, it means college life, basically, university life. We have basically lost time in the talent that to capture that young voice that is there in the school times. So, of course, as part of the new education policy, I have not read that in detail. I'm sorry for that. But if this can be brought into the senior secondary curriculum, I think we will have some more interesting voices around us, youngsters picking up audio as a medium, audio as a talent that would come up, and it would not be just dependent on finding another talent through Saregama Pa and those kind of programs. Those programs basically focus on the singing part of it, but audio is not just about singing. It is about giving a message. It is about communicating, and communicating that specific subject. Probably, I think students should get into it. I would think somewhere around, if you want to ask me about this class or standards, I think 7th standard or 8th standard is a very prime time for where some student can be taught about professional audio broadcasting about it. It will be more about the content at that point of time. Many students participate in the debates and elocution, but the moment you say we will record it, we will relay it, we will stream it, and suddenly you see, oh really? No, my voice, do you think it is that good? It's not about the goodness of voice. It is about all the our own presence of it on the radio. When I talk to you, Kanchan, through our Zoom call, I feel that you are in front of me, and that's why I make this call, and I feel that I'm talking to you face to face. Similarly, in an audio communication, the mic where it is spoken, the moment we tell someone and the moment someone starts imagining, the mic is the audience. The mic is the final place where my message has to reach. And therefore, the mic has to be treated with great love.
Yes, in a country where 18 languages are recognized official languages and 1652 is mother tongue. So for radio, it's an immense opportunity, immense professional we need to boost this sector also. So we will be talking more about this wonderful subject in our other meetings and our other episodes. So till then, I'll say bye-bye. You take care.
Have a great day, Kanchan, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.